What's up, guys? Elijah Scheidler here, owner and supervising broker of Venue Real Estate. Super awesome to get to introduce you to my son, Jamin, last week. And while my wife and I were up at the hospital for 3 days, my parents came over from Billings and took care of our 3 older kids and then stayed a whole nother week as my wife and I came home and tried to merge into a new rhythm of life as a family of 6. It's so helpful. I don't know what we would do without them, because each time we've had a child to our family, we've had to go through a major adjustment period to find our new stride as a family. If you're a runner at all, you know what it's like to increase your mileage. When you first start getting into shape, you feel like your lungs are going to invert out your nostrils just running a mile, but pretty soon you get into the pocket, and going out for a 3-mile run can actually make you feel better. But adding another kid to your family, though, it's like feeling good running 3 miles and then jumping into a 12-mile uphill trail run with a 15-pound pack on your back. You can do it, you can make it through, but you feel like you're gonna die. During these transition periods, I always lose my mind a little, because with parenting, you don't get to do the 12-mile trail run once and then give it a rest. You have to get up and do it again the next day and the next day and the next day, pretty much for the rest of your life. And the sustained pressure can lead to some pretty cracked thinking. If you don't have kids, the thought of plotting how much you could sell your kids to the gypsies for, or wondering why in the world DFS is so opposed to putting kids in padded animal crates with iPads and Lunchables, probably doesn't make a lot of sense to you at all. I'll tell you, the thoughts are real though, and they're really cracked. Now, cracked thinking leads to a broken way of life, which is why I celebrate the strength that my parents bring to our parenting process. Remember how I said that parenting is like a 12-mile uphill trail run that you get up and do day after day after day, pretty much the rest of your life? I left home a long time ago, but my parents are still running strong in the race of taking care of their kids. My parents are going the distance and have built some serious stamina in child rearing and are giving this strength to me and my wife and my kids as a gift of inheritance. As I look back in my family's life, there's a monument, a testimony standing in my past of my parents' perseverance in raising me and my siblings. There were 6 kids in my family growing up, and my dad was the only one who worked outside the home. My mom's work was at home raising all of us. And they parented us through some tough times, but they did it with such grace and joy. We didn't even know that we had it rough. Now that my siblings and I are older though, they share a lot more with us about the emotional strain and decisions that they had to make. And the celebrated monument of their perseverance is leading to monumental growth and success in me and my siblings' parenting moving forward. Now, I don't want you to think that my parents did everything right raising us. Not at all. They made a ton of mistakes. But they did always have one thing set in their sights. They were going to do better with us because their parents did well with them. So with this testimony at me and my siblings' backs, that's what me and my brothers and sisters are doing. We're going to do better because our parents did well. We're creating a monumental movement that builds momentum into our kids' success. The momentum of legacy establishes success in its succession. My parents' perseverance provides me with strength to get up, strap on my 15-pound pack, and start up the mountain again day after day after day in my parenting journey. Now, this isn't about not being lazy and selfish either. Backing away from cracked thinking is not the same as running forward in solid thinking. My goal is not avoiding being selfish, lazy, and stingy as a dad and husband. My goal is to be loving, gentle, and intentionally generous, such that these things become foundational to my kids' thinking. Life lessons are caught more often than taught, so I'm not giving in to the cracked thinking because it doesn't lay a solid foundation in the next generation. Now, we're in a similar season here in Bozeman, like with this transition that I'm in my parenting. We're in a period of growth and becoming as a community, where the sustained pressure of finding our new rhythm is calling out some cracked thinking. Some people want to keep living in the past. They're trying to figure out how they can sell the newcomers to the gypsies. And other people are trying to figure out how to placate people in padded cages, trying to figure out how to control people and keep them out of the way. Parents aren't the only ones who struggle with cracked thinking during transitional periods. And the way to break through into a legacy of success as a community is to lean into celebrating the monumental accomplishments of those who have come before us to fuel our current movement towards building momentum into the future. We have a shortage on supplies to build houses here in Bozeman. That is true. And the founders of Bozeman had to chop trees down by hand to build their houses while cultivating crops that would sustain them through the winter. And if their crops failed, there's a good chance that they would die. Our community is the expression of the monumental success against all odds of those who came before us. They persevered through some tough times, had it super rough, and we've done better because they did well. The momentum of legacy establishes success in its succession. We've added a few new people to our community and are trying to figure out our new stride. Good news. We're a community of people that apply for the Ridge Run for years and then celebrate when we finally win the chance to go for a 19+ mile trail run with 6,800 feet of elevation gain. We were born for this adventure of building community, Bozeman, and we come from really good stock. We're going to do better because our parents did well. It's in our blood to succeed against all odds, and we like it.